Yo, what is going on, everyone? Astrologerericrosen here, and welcome to Celestial Conversations. Getting this in a little last minute, right before the Christmas Eve vibes really start to percolate here. First of all, I want to say, because this will be the last one that I probably do before we're right on the cusp of that new year. It might be on the 31st that I do the next one. It might be January 1st. We'll see, but give yourself a hand. Give yourself a pat on the back. Like, we're moving out of such an old way of reality on how we achieve and accomplish things that we're not going to quit or give up on ourselves as a soul if we give ourselves an attaboy and attagirl the encouragement and deep appreciation of how far we've come. Like, we've survived a lot of really deep, crazy Pisces energy. And I mean, you can even throw the Pluto and Capricorn in the mix, as we're still kind of getting our feet wet, the Pluto and Aquarius vibes. But I would say even more so than looking back on the year that was 2024, was it good, was it bad? More so just appreciation, just taking ownership of appreciation as a soul that's just hung in there wherever you're at. Like, you know, there's been a lot of pressure over the past, few years of, as the society culture gone soft, we're handing out participation trophies, and it's like, well, spirit is like just being here and doing our best and choosing to hold a higher vibration and be a better human being and leave the earth behind in a better way than it was. Like, that's enough, So just kind of my prelude as we go into this week. Of course, this is going to be for the week of, I do these from Wednesdays to the following Tuesday, so from December 24th until, pretty much through January 31st, through New Year's Eve. Of course, before I get into what's going on with the transits this week, I do want to say, as always, if you want to get a personal astrology reading, reach out for that link, depending on, there might be some links around this video, like on Facebook Live. I don't really post the stuff just because they really don't like that, the external links. Of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, the links will be down below, but everything for me, you can find at astrologerericrosen.com. That's astrology, and then by is B-Y, and then my name, Eric, E-R-I-C, Rosen, R-O-S-E-N.com. I am planning on doing my next special. I haven't done a webinar special in a while, specifically targeted around astrology. Of course, I did a Vitality Reset webinar here recently, and you can check that out if you still need a boost, need some tools on more of the affordable end for moving into the new year with some zeal and some, just some enlightened measures, if you will, of looking at like what does 2026 have to give to me, but more like a reverence for the year that we're going into. We're going to be heading into the year of the fire horse, which is crazy that it happens on February 17th, 2 days before Saturn and Neptune officially meet in Aries, but they're really pretty much conjunct when the year of the fire horse starts. So we're rounding out the year of the water snake, and so we're still in the shedding energy. So I think the big thing is, like, don't fall for either the trap of either subconsciously or consciously of like that first part of 2026, first week, first month's got to be like perfect with that South Node in Virgo. Like, we're still going through a shedding. It's still, whether you want to throw in that it's still in the winter season that we're in and got like a lot of it to go, there's still going to be some 2025 energy left over, and in a lot of ways 2025, 2026 are kind of Siamese twins a little bit, and the shades of the separation, in a weird way you could say. It might even be the realization as I look around at some of these transits, and I'll get to the technical parts, but it's like are we maybe finally ready to see that none of us were all the way right, none of us were all the way wrong, none of us were more enlightened than the other, none of us has all the answers, and that maybe some of us had certain strengths that have been very much part of our identity and our conscious mind, but maybe some of this Pisces energy is asking us to find the deeper hidden skill set that exists in the collective consciousness that maybe we just haven't been tapping into because it didn't feel like a part of something that we valued, but it's a part of us. And so that could be the person that's been highly spiritual, but maybe hasn't done the best with finance or business. And so it's time to even the scales there, so to speak, to get more solid and consistent in that, or vice versa. I think it's also things like the red versus blue stuff and the political stuff. I think we can finally start to get to a place of letting that shit go. My prediction back in September before the election, this isn't meant to be political, was still that at the end of the day, it wasn't going to matter who got elected, and time will tell on that for sure, but I think we're seeing signs of that. Just with all the changes that we're going through. I'm just looking a lot at this Mercury being in the last degrees of Sag and all the Sag energy rounding out, how it is making a quincunx of that Jupiter that rules that Sag energy. So I think it's like we can start to kind of accept and find more deep comfort and familiarity with people that we're closer to, that it's okay if you don't share the same belief system. Maybe we're bringing together information of things that we didn't see before, but there was like some people thinking that Trump was like a hero, and then other people saying he was a villain, and then maybe what people were perceiving was like both true, and now it's like the flip-flop where it's like the people that thought he was the hero are starting to see the anti-hero, and the people that thought he was pure villain, like seeing some of the other stuff of like how it wasn't going to be that much better on the other side. So I think what this is really, pushing us towards from a collective consciousness standpoint is more unity consciousness. That I think at some point the stress of that Saturn and Virgo is going to be asking people to not take on any more criticism and playing checkers with trying to be right with other people, and to find more of that North Node and Pisces energy of the deep surrender and kind of unity in terms of energy and consciousness, and not in a way that everyone has to agree, but as I've been saying, this true live and let live concept, it's a soul killer if we have to be right now, or if we have to have something wrong or something to fix, and that could include, not agreeing with people's beliefs, especially in politics. I mean, we are seeing that Sun, Venus, Mars come together in Capricorn this week, and so that's a lot of that political front. And of course, this is just to round out the year. I will be talking about what's in store for that special that I was alluding to, and then kind of fucking went on a wild tangent actually. It is coming up here. January 8th is the date I'm looking at, about 6 p.m. Central Time. I think I'm going to call it Rising of the Guard. I think there's a hidden element of that Saturn-Neptune meeting and Uranus going back into Gemini, and the aspects that are going to start to mate again between those planets, and also Pluto and Aquarius, where it's like, what if part of the assertion and identification is being more of a guardian of sorts, of higher frequency energy to bring into the collective and just be that vessel that a lot of spiritual ideas have alluded to, which is just to bring in higher dimensional frequency energy and to distill that into a way where we can kind of like bring that energy in when it even seems like we're trying to just get by or survive or get to the next step, and how that can feel hard for a lot of people that have been hardwired into certain modes of thinking in the system, and to bring those higher vibrations and to trust that intuition. So I haven't prepared that talk fully yet. The links haven't even been prepared. So just if someone is really wanting to know what is happening with the astrology in 2026, and you want that look ahead of this like really monumental transition year and how it's segueing into 2027, which is even more crazy, check that out, because that is for people that want to be in the know and do some hybrid levels of planning their year ahead, but also to simultaneously sort of surrender and not go into these spaces of needing the control to know exactly how it's going to go, because as I'll continue to talk about, like, well, really it's going to go whatever the frequency is that we're anchoring in. If we're in full integrity with a higher frequency and we're surrendered, it goes better. If there's hiccups and we get scared and go against that, and we go into irrational forms of sabotage, which is just really staying with the old program at this point and saying fuck spirituality, or fuck, love and compassion, or let me just get what I need to get by, and not thinking about a bigger dream or ambition. I think that's where it goes off the rails. So mark your calendars if you're interested in that. Now officially onto this week. I've been cleaning my house all day. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little tired, but I did want to get this in, so bear with me if I'm not in my usual flow today. But what I will say is that I think the energy of this week is actually pretty positive. I don't think there's too many barriers to entry with all of this, that we can really allow ourselves to receive the trophy, if you will, of appreciation of our values, of whatever it is that we've accomplished, what we've been through, and to use that as a sort of spiritual salve to say, I've gotten through a lot and I've done well, or done well enough. Like, where else can I go? I think this is a week of declaring more possibilities and seeing that it's more the question of like, why not do it? I think there's more questions of saying like, why not show up to the true spiritual mission and destiny path that's unfolding through a deep level of spiritual surrender and faith in what we're able to accomplish from a deeper innate sense of spiritual skill set that can emerge from deep within ourselves that maybe hasn't even been identified yet. And so it could feel like a tall order for everything that maybe has gone on the past 5 years. But I think it's like, it's time to be a bit daring in terms of like being calculative and saying, if I have all my faculties, if I'm looking at things clearly, the challenges that are in front of me, if I have ambition, if I have will, if I have skills and abilities and desires to achieve something great, it's more like, why the fuck not go do that? I think this is actually the week where we can finally get over any remaining fears, whether they're rational or irrational, and to show up to even the deepest of sensitivities. This is the week to go, if you have a desire and you have something that you want to do and you have the means to do it, and especially if there's a longevity piece to it, which that longevity piece can be anything from being of service to helping others to something in business or finance, but it can also be, with relationships too, and going, wow, this will leave a memory, like in a good way, like this. And I think that's what we need, is to actually, part of the responsibility of all this Capricorn energy is to say, assert the energy in spaces that feel valuable and create an energy and memories that can replace any of the old, and to kind of like show and build some confidence, like, see, the world did not end. We're still here. All the bad stuff that everyone's been predicting, the worst case scenario stuff, it hasn't happened. And I said it when I looked at the astrology in 2020, I felt like 2025, 2026 was where we had the opportunity to shift timelines, and I think we're already there and on it, where there's something about the presence of ET energy that shifts us into this vibration of going, I am just like tired of being in conflict. I am tired of fighting with my neighbor, or I am tired of fighting with that person online, or I am just like ready to say fuck it, and not from like a critical, judgmental, holier than thou place, but more so from a like, holy shit, does it really matter what that person thinks? Does it matter if they have that belief system? Oh, they want to fight and argue with their right? Man, kind of disappointing that they're still figuring it out. But then it's like, you say a prayer for them, it's very Pisces energy, and you let them figure it out. Because the truth is that after so many years of the lies and the deception and what's real and is not, the realest thing at this point is just what we're fucking passionate about, what we give value to. As long as we're not hurting people, taking advantage of people, like truly, like as best as you can do it. And that's always the next step. What do you feel that you're here to do that's part of your excitement and passion that you can do now? You have the resources now, not the, I got to kill myself to figure this out, and how is this all going to come together, and then someday blah, blah, blah. It's more just like, how can we be a little bit, believe it or not, softer and more receptive to the spiritual energies, and kind of like waking ourselves up a little bit and coming out of like any like fog and go, wait, like, even for everything that's like going on, like it's like still okay, or like this situation's like working itself out, but like it's not a bypass to look at the positive things that are happening. Like it rewires the focus of energy. That North Node Pisces is very much like a vector in space. The energy is just going to keep sailing wherever we're directing it towards. And so if we're putting it towards something that always needs to feel like it needs to be fixed, or critical conversations around people trying to, say something is factual that they're not agreeing on, when they're trying to like say something's factual, when it's a conversation that's entirely subjective and there's no way to really pin it down. Like there was this, back when I used to really be into sports and used to do the fantasy football stuff, there is this ESPN guy, his name was Matthew Berry, and he would do this article every year, and he would talk about how you could like basically flip any narrative that you wanted on statistics, and it was genius. It's like the art of subjectivity and journalism, that you can make statistics for this person look great, and then you can tell literally different story about the same statistics and make it look bad. And so I think we have to like look at this and go, where in our own life, or even in the outer world, if we're getting distracted by stuff that really doesn't matter to us, where are we spinning a narrative on what we see happening and giving it that story that's not a story that's serving our purpose, our mission, this greater level ambition? Because to the degree that we feel in integrity with what it is that we want to be responsible for, and those value systems, and carrying those out and being disciplined with that, like if we can take care of ourselves, if we can remember that even though it feels like we've lived a millennia of lifetimes these past 5 years, and that the media has had a heyday in trying to almost basically convinced in some weird fashion that they're that whether spoken or not, like that we're not even going to make it to like 2030, which it couldn't be further from the truth. Now, I'm not saying everyone's going to want to go. Some souls are going to want to check out. Like literally, it's just, I hate to say it, but it's like failed. It's like karmic checkpoints, you know, like it used to be pre-modern times, like a soul would just decide if it didn't want to be here. And it would choose to exit the body. It wasn't dying from old age or disease. It would choose. And so for people that like, they're really like, I feel like a victim, like complaining, like struggling, like, you know, the more we're stepping into co-creative energy for the possibilities in life, it's like if people are having a negative experience, negative beliefs, still stuck in trauma, and that's what they're manifesting, then it's kind of like Spirit's like, okay, well, you don't have to stay. There's trillions of souls waiting to come here to like, you know, take their shot. And that's unfortunately some people's contract, you know, in this day and age. And so our job is not to like look at the challenges that the whole like world is facing and see it in like a negative light, but to actually see it as an opportunity for growth, because that's what Capricorn really teaches, is that, yeah, this is difficult, but, you know, if you focus, if you know how to pull together resources and manage time and energy and decide very practically speaking, like what is the piece of your leadership on a personal level of your contribution to the status quo of the world, or the change in the status quo, especially with Pluto and Aquarius. And then anything that comes along the way, it's like more of a receiving of the lesson, where it's like a positive form of stress. It's eustress. It's like, yeah, there's a challenge, but I signed up for this. This is a part of like what I'm here to do. Now, it brings up the part where it's like, well, what about the stuff that I didn't seemingly decide to do? And it's like, well, you can't sabotage and just push it away. It's like kind of have to like own it and go, on some level, maybe I just can't see it. Maybe I'm being stubborn. Maybe I just want the reality to look at one specific way, but it's kind of going like, on some soulful, energetic level, this is meant to be a part of my reality, even if it is like more of the sensitive, hard lesson of like, ah, shit, like this is what I manifested. Like I can see it. This is how I got myself into this pickle or situation, but to still embrace that, where it's like, okay, I got myself in this. I can get myself out of it, but it's not by trying to fix it. It's much more about the responsibility piece, and to not look too far into the future too, I think, with all this energy, because it's more so like we can't see too far out in front. And it's like the moment that we try to understand too many steps ahead, we drift off course, and then it's like, oh wait, that's a dead end. There's a barricade there. There's no road there, and it's like I was trying to find the path and I hit a dead end. And so that's the irony that could feel like the crazy town of the Pisces energy is like I'm trying to find the road, but then the more I try to find it, the more lost I get. It's like, welcome to like part of the fog of the spiritual reality of Pisces energy, where it's more like a divine nonchalance and a knowing that it's like, we don't have to struggle like we thought. That was just all programming. You know, like the fear, the it's all going to go bad stuff. And it's like, once those ideas are planted, kind of like the movie Inception, that old movie, then it's like where we get addicted to it because it produces the adrenaline rush. And so the way to unhook from all this, with all this energy, really just is a boss level decision to see the pattern playing out again and go, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm going to choose this instead. And actually slowing down and not being so busy to actually be in that energy. So in the most ironic sense, we find our path when we stop trying to push or walk through the fog, and we just perceive our senses and of what's going on around us in our own mind and our own being, and to get into this know thyself state that's like deeper than ever. And it suddenly becomes highly relevant that it's like, oh wait, these challenges, these are actually great. Like, this is teaching me how to be intuitive. This is teaching me how to be resilient. This is teaching me very practical Capricorn life lessons of how to grow up, show up to all the things, all the Venus things that we, and with Mars there, that we dedicated ourselves to go, I do have enough ambition in the tank to do the stuff that I find value in, my relationships, my skill set, how I manifest. Like, I do think that the energy leading up to February 20th, I think there's a really good energy for open up the Easter egg basket and let Spirit give you some of the deliverables that you are manifesting. If you've been being a good spiritual person, and that also just even looks like letting in the compassion too, of like not carrying like guilt and shame, and this deeper faith that it's like, actually you can get more from not doing as much as we think. And I've seen it happen in my own life where it's like, it's enjoy all this energy. It's way more feminine. It really is. You know, Capricorn's a feminine sign. Pisces is a feminine sign. Taurus is a feminine sign, right? Planets spread throughout there. It's like, yes, Pluto's in Aquarius, masculine. Mercury in Sag, masculine, but that's brief. Jupiter in Cancer, feminine. Even the nodes are in feminine signs. And then you have Chiron in Aries. Well, there's the collective wound, right? Ego. Doing too much, feeling like, or not doing enough, or feeling like not doing enough, or looking at what other people are doing and feeling like there's something that we need to like do to make it happen. And it's like, well, everything that spirituality has like taught us is that it is more about the spiritual frequency alignment of things. And some of those embraces, like too, with all this, as hard as it can be, is accepting that we've all been a part of it in some way. Like, you think about it, if you've had like one negative thought or a judgment against a person, or you've been so upset you wanted to kick someone, or, you know, like you're mad at that person in traffic, in some way, because of how powerful we are, we've all contributed to that matrix machine vibration of shadow, of conflict. And so in some way, we've, even if it just feels like a party streamer, like we've all contributed to the negative dance in the collective. Now, what we're doing though is we're been going through, and we're almost through it, and there's waves that come, I'm not gonna lie, for these next couple of months, where it's like we're releasing those denser vibrations. That's not, it's kind of sabotaging, and it's ironic because it's like, it's not us, it's not really who we are, right? It's not our essence, but in some ways, like, we brought it into the subconscious reality, we identify with it somehow, the energy or the emotion, the vibration is still there, but then we let it go by just bringing this gentle awareness to it, and forgiveness and acceptance, especially if there's like guilt or shame, or going like, ugh, like, fuck, I'm not always the good guy, I'm not always the hero, I did do that thing. Or it could even be with all this Pisces energy, I did do that thing in that past life, and that's gnarly. So there's no, like, the executioner, the guillotine guy, like, even they're tired. There's no one coming to like arrest us and like flog us for like our sins. You know, it's like literally the universe, the astrology, I promise you, that is all going to get taken care of, especially starting in 2027. It might take a bit, but I got to be honest, like, I think that rooting for shady people to go down or righteousness, I think it's a bit of a waste of our creator power, just because I see that it's all just going to get like taken care of through all this astrology and the shifts, even in human design. And so if we're spending our creative power rooting against someone that, who knows, we don't know their personal timing, their astrology, they may have a chance to flip to the other side and start playing for the light or play for the light more. So it's like casting stones, ironically, puts us too much like closer to the shadow energies by doing that. And so this is somewhat like coming back to, I would say, more of the natural, prominent spiritual role model energy of staying focused in our lane of what it is that we're here to do, and to just be of the highest vibrational service. And it's like with Chiron and Aries, it's really not about the self. It's more about how the wound heals through the selfless service that Chiron the Centaur brings. It's the service of that North Node in Pisces, which is like, I'm serving on behalf of God and the divine. It's the illusion North Node in Virgo, that it's like we're stuck in the position that we don't want to be in, just like getting by of that type of service, like serving a functioning machine. It's like, and this is where the remembrance comes in with that sextile that's been going on with that Uranus retrograde Taurus for its last time here for the next 80 plus years, or almost 80 years, and sextile over to that Saturn Neptune, where it's like, do you remember? You remember who you are? Do you remember that the skills, the abilities, the potency, the power, all this cool, crazy spiritual stuff, on some level, it was all real. They were not illusions. Now, maybe there was some ego or some stories that were put into it. I mean, just open up social media and just go look around at someone that is calling them, I'm sorry, I don't want to pick on people, but it's like, I'm a priestess, or I'm this, or I'm that. Cool. Like, show me the receipts. Like, show me, you know, just do it, you know, like share the truth of it. Because some of these transits are going to iron out like where anything's like not real. There's any like floating spiritual narcissism. And this is where people, they have to figure out those shadows, those abuses of power and like ego with some of this. And it's the acknowledgement of like, ooh, like I was like doing that. And it's just a felt sense. It's like it floats to the top of the awareness, because the way Saturn like deals with reality and karma, and like, hey, there's a responsibility factor here. I'm in Pisces, like, remember your messes that you created energetically. This is all your leftover stuff. Even if you just want to go basic and just look at Saturn's 28-year cycle and go, you know, what has been going on the past few decades, and Neptune's here to help wash it away, but we have to remember to ask for that help too. To not do this all alone. That North Node reminds us that we actually have to consciously reach for the spiritual connection and ask for the release and the forgiveness, and tune our attention and energy into that. Because, you know, with the South Node in Virgo, it's like going on autopilot and just doing things and going through the motions. But I do think we're getting broken out of that. That there is kind of a law of like least effort here with this astrology, and like that's okay, because believe it or not, the more asserting and the masculine we're doing right now, the more it's coming from a wounded place, or it's trying to keep up with the Joneses. It's trying to keep up with the collective, or a program, you know, some program to bond people together. It's like yeah, you drink the 8 pots coffee too and do all this stuff and all the crypto and all the tech. Yeah, me too. It's like, yeah, but like, let's not check our egos or like look at the mom wounds or like look at nourishing, it's like, it's that sort of thing. That's the end game that we're in. It's like Capricorn teaches maturity, like how to be the parent, like in the disciplined way. And then that Jupiter down there in Cancer, that's not opposing directly yet this Venus, Sun, Mars, but it is kind of like maybe just like let the beliefs or narratives go, or like it's really not about going and like conquering the world. It's more about how nice is it that we get Jupiter exalted in Cancer, even when it's retrograde, to like receive the gifts of just like getting to enjoy the comforts that we're able to perceive in life, like from the journey. And those are spiritual comforts. Those are comforts of being with family and the people that we're closest to, even if the beliefs are not like, there's a storm that blows through and it's like, oh, here we go again. We're talking about red versus blue. Or we're talking about this thing versus that thing. And it's like, it's the beauty of being the person in the room that can actually hold the compassionate vibration and not the, dare I say, the douchey, oh, they're just in their traumas, or oh, they're just this and this. And like doing the South Node Virgo like labels, it's like, we were all there once, And I think that we do a better job of helping people and being available to people for that like way shower energy of anything that we have evolved from, by having that empathy and compassion and understanding that people do struggle, and I don't think that, I know it can feel sometimes like a lot of people maybe left the spiritual path, or they're doing something that doesn't seem spiritual, or they've like kind of veered off the path, and it's like, feels like maybe lower vibrational sometimes, or it feels like people still getting lost in the entertainment culture and the busyness of stuff and not being on the spiritual path. But I think that there's things that are happening subconsciously for people that we don't know about fully, and how God and the universe works in mysterious ways. Like Saturn, it has a plan in Pisces even, and with Neptune there, it's the plan that we can't fully see. We almost just have to sense it. And the nice thing is that as long as we're not like throwing our life away or trying to escape anything, that Saturn Neptune's kind of saying, hey, like, it's not delusion, as long as like you're being a good spiritual person and you're looking at your stuff, your leftovers, whether you like to look at it or not, and you're accepting those responsibilities like with compassion, you're going to be okay. Like, this too shall pass. But even in this too shall pass, it's almost like it does behoove us to like not ignore, the things that are present to deal with, because it's almost like the more that we deal with those things that we're responsible for, the more that we take advantage of these magic portals that are left. That it's not like the magic goes away when the astrology shifts next year. It's just going to kind of be like really fun and exciting for the brave. But this, big, dreamy, feminine, spiritual path that we've been on, like, this is that big old vortex. It's all the stuff. It's all the Abraham Hicks stuff. It's all the like, good vibes, good feel stuff. But it's also about like letting it in and letting our higher self is really closer than ever, like working with us, like during these transits, going like, I know you're here to do a job. I know that you're here to actually be okay with like putting joy and celebrating just like being on this earth, like first, and starting with your vibration, and then doing the things you feel inspired to do. And that's purpose enough, you know, like this is the changing of the guard. And that's why that special I'm planning on doing for the look at the astrology for 2026 on January 8th at 6. I think I'm going to call it Rising of the Guard, because I think we're here to like start to look more long-term at the vibration that we're bringing to Earth, and like longer-term solutions for things that I've been saying this for years. I really think that we need to be thinking about having more fun for our own inner child, which we'll see that being more of a bigger collective thing when Jupiter comes into Leo at the very end of April. It's like April 31st, May 1st. And the South Node will be there too, so there's going to be some karmic releasing happening on those fronts of, you know, romance, kids, creativity, and, you know, some of the negative like Leo qualities that can come up and really get amplified. But Jupiter's not going to be there with that South Node the whole time. And so it is this, what about the kids and the future generations, and like how much of this has just been drama and sensationalism of all the adult stuff, where we're all just like kind of being like dumb, like maybe talking too much about the hype of the headlines and everything going on, and like, can you believe this? And it's like, well, yeah, I can believe it. We've been seeing it for 5 years now, you know, like, but what are we doing about it? And so I think it goes back to just these very basics of our vibration, our attention, our energy, and that we're all going to like wobble with this energy. It's going to be messy, where that South Node, it's the default in Virgo. It's going to want to like criticize or label, and that North Node, Saturn, Neptune, is going to be pointing out where, or any places where there's been any judgments or pathologizing just anything in reality. It's kind of like if you really feel into it deeply enough, we're going through a very slow unfolding of like the Ghost of Christmas Past vibes, and that could be really gnarly for people that are hanging on for dear life, like not wanting to like look at things. But it's like we're kind of like been going through some of that, whether it's from the past or past lives, but like those, it is like looking at these things and keeping the vibration up, and then going, okay, like we didn't die, we didn't choose the lower timeline as a collective, like we're gonna be okay. Like Pisces rules endings, so it's all the dumb fucks that said that the world was ending, Book of Revelation style. Yeah, if it hasn't happened yet, it's not going to. Sorry, but there's not enough time left. We're actually moving away from doomsday. So once we have that stuff set, and if we can remember, like, oh, like let me just take responsibility and like grow up and show up to the things that I'm committed to, and you know, manifest and use my skill set and use the tools that are available to me, and just get to a place of stability and consistency or growth that is like actually from a spiritual place, and not just like trying to prove or keep up with others. And then from that place, it becomes the, well, fuck, if I'm able to do this, what else am I able to do? And that's where the real spiritual mission comes in, where it's like bringing in the higher vibrations to go, I'm committed and loyal to that cause. And this is more of the Saturn Neptune stuff next year, but it's like that thing. Like that's what God has put on my chest, my crest of armor, so to speak. And like, this is the part that I feel like I need to like really go for. And it's like, is that things that, you know, we can all agree need to end. Bad stuff that happens to kids, bad stuff that happens to women, you know, like if it's a part of like your sphere and you have a domain in it, like it's the stuff that happens in politics, the stuff that happens in finance, but it's not like some new leap. It's like not like it's like some brand new thing. It may feel that way for some people, like the late bloomers, but I think the story and the experience is still going to make sense. Like, oh, I dealt with this situation or these people or this thing with my job or how I've experienced life or money or whatever. Of course, it would make sense that I would have an ambition and an experience to know what to do in these situations and to be able to like help out and contribute collectively to that change. And I think that's really the great awakening that happens, is people just being like tired of it, like literally not even being able to like unplug anymore and just like numb out on something like a TV show or, you know, or a substance or whatever. And it's like, none of those things are bad inherently, but right now if it's being used to like disconnect from owning our power and its forms of escapism and escaping the responsibilities, that's where it can get a little like weird, and it can actually make it feel worse, because it's like it's actually good feedback energetically to go, oh wait, if I actually like look at these things, like reality does start to move forward. It does start to close out like any toxic cycles, right? So I am cautiously optimistic with all of it. I think I'm at the point where a lot of the stuff that I see, think, and feel has silently in the background been a little bit prophecy-like, and I know a lot of other channelers and that are doing it too. And maybe I haven't wanted to share all of it because it's like, well, we still got to like get through it. You know, we've had to like, it's like getting through 2025 and like gearing up for 2026 and 2027, and then seeing like the lowest common denominators of like, wow, with all this change, how's the world going to handle it? And I think overall the world is, believe it or not, swimmingly, because I think it actually literally comes down to eventually what I've hoped and prayed for and said for years too, which is like settling the train wreck, whether, and especially the manufactured train wrecks that are going to come, the illusions that it's not even a tragedy, it's not even an oh shit moment, it's manufactured, basically borderline AI stuff, train wreck that people actually just get desensitized to it and they don't want to look at the train wreck anymore. And it is the, wow, like look, it's building, spiritual people coming together and wanting to do cool shit. Like it's been building out there the whole time. It's creating the cities of light, like through vibration. Like we don't have to have like the communes or the farmland or whatever. Like we don't have to wait for the physical nature of this stuff fully to arrive to like anchor in the vibrations of it and to see these visions and to actually like take advantage of the potency that we have as humans, like that we're just basically lied to and programmed and taught. It's like the slave codes are leaving is what I'm getting at. It's a South Node Virgo thing. The slave codes are leaving. The labels, everything from having to like work or do things that is not your soul's calling, especially purpose right now. Like doing things just for the sake of like doing them, like not being in gratitude or appreciation, like finding the enjoyment, the achievement in it. Like those things are all leaving. So, and I think it's remembering our spiritual tools too. Like Capricorn is all about being up on the mountain, and the Pisces energy that deals with the spiritual part. It's like, it's okay to go into meditation, be up on the mountain and pray for the collective and pray for ourselves. Like I'm telling you, like the perceptions of how I see things, like the field is very, very open and very, very quantum right now. And so it's like receive the blessings, receive the dividends of just the commitment of things, and trust that some of this was just us like testing ourselves and testing, you know, our ability for resilience and tenacity to like be in the movie and to forget that it was a movie of a reality TV show, like what we see on screen when we're watching that show. That's that thriller, that action show or movie, and it's like our heart's racing because we're watching it, but then we thought we were really in it. We're actually the actor and the actresses, very Pisces energy. And then it's like, oh wait, no. And with all the Uranus stuff, it's like, well, if I can believe that, believe in my fears, rational fears, or if my body, my central nervous system can respond to bad things happening again, from whether it's like the general consensus of negative media or a past life situation, or even just like something that we did go through in the past, but then we have to kind of like surrender to, because of the Pisces energy and the subconscious mind and its tendency on the negative end to ruminate, to delete memories, to distort the past, to delete the past. And so that's where it's like the weird fog. It's like, wait, is that really how it happened? Did I really feel that way? And we can't like gaslight ourselves in that. We have to like feel these things as they come up. But the main thing, and this is why people have, unfortunately, some people going crazy right now and like fucking pulling guns on people and killing people and slitting each other's throats and just all this stupid shit, is because people are identifying with the weird shit coming up inside, like the crazy thoughts or stories or visions or feelings that are probably like past life things or psychotic breaks and like literally breaking out of the schizophrenic reality of imprisonment. That it's like, I think literally some people are like realizing they've been playing a character that they didn't have to, but they thought that they did, and then they can't see a way forward, and that they're at the end. And so it's like, pray for those people that if they're like losing it right now, because it's like, unfortunately, Pisces energy can be where like people fucking lose it, especially with Neptune and Saturn there. It's like losing it hard, and it's the worst thing, because it's like, it's very karmic, but I'm hearing their souls will bounce back, in the grand scheme of things. But I definitely wouldn't want to fuck this up right now. I think this energy is actually really beautiful. And, I've been having some good months here. The Sag energy was really good to me. It was a lot of 12th house energy for me as a Capricorn, and also 8th. So it's like, I did like really get extra used to going through the mystical fog and the dark with all of it. But that's also where we're kind of headed in a way, but like, it's in a way of like, what if it could seem like the light shining on the illusions and things feeling bright and seen, but it's like the illusions go away, and then so it's like we're in more of the shadow, the dark, but it's like that's the womb where things get created. And what if our like lantern that we've been carrying, like trying to like move forward, it gets brighter, that we see better. So the sight is going to come from paying attention to what we're thinking, feeling. Like this is where the Jedis like get celebrated now. Like the hardest work is almost over, where it's like, I mean, not fully, but it like, I think we're at least on the other side of the uphill battle, where it's like we get to receive the understanding that, okay, like it's like being accepted, being seen, like being appreciated, like you're doing good enough in your reality. So it's like, look at it as, okay, now be mindful, bitch. Now just be mindful, pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to your energy, like you're powerful, you're potent, like you're co-creating. And so a lot of like what I'm seeing like with people, lately in conversations, even sessions, even just like, hey, like you're being too hard on yourself, or you're being too hard on them. That's literally what a lot of this is coming down to, like step number one. And I did it my whole fucking life, and I still fucking do it, you know? It's like, and that's part of my shedding too, you know? It's like, probably some ego pride, you know, thinking like the part where I think that it needs to like be difficult, all my Capricorn energy and my Saturn's out now in Scorpio, but it's like, still got time in Pisces energy for those release and those awarenesses to come up. But it's like, there's no going to search for it. With all these feminine energies, it's kind of like, let the energy come in. It's like, it's the reward. It could be like the tangible sense of things, but it can also be the intangible sense of things, of just the energy like coming in, of like showing us like the next step. Like, this is like true, I don't even know if remembrance is the word, because it's almost like a hybrid of like, some of us can really graduate, like if we've really been on the spiritual circuit and committed for a long time, to go like, oh, like things can be good and improve and get better, and people like there's a lot of people that can be helped with it, but it's going to come from keeping that vibe up. So there's a great responsibility to the energy that we're bringing to situations, and this isn't I should do this, or oh fuck me, like, look everyone, I fucking slipped up, please, you know, hold me accountable, or like please accept me, because you know there could be all types of stuff here too, because like Pisces also rules excommunication, so it's kind of like, this could be deep past life things of like being like, look, like there's enough tribe, there's 8 billion people, like you're not going to get excommunicated. The only thing that's happening is just we're weaving the reality of a vibration of moving away from tribe of people where it's just the vibe and the values are different, and it's actually super fucking neutral, and that it's like opening up and not suffocating the soul to receive fully the connection with tribe. And so for any place that like we've been withholding, like being more open, receptive with friendships, with community, spiritual community, like showing up as that person, being open to connect, like, I mean, all the hang-ups, you know, it's like, well, that person and their vibes, it's like, well, you know, like, ratchet up your vibe, raise it, and then, like, you won't even be in that ego thing, and, like, that person will just, like, move away, or, you know, you won't feel like it's mano-y-mano, like a sword fight, or if it's like, well, I've been betrayed, or trust issues, it's like, okay, well, you got to go back to the responsibility that Saturn Neptune of like, where was the blind spot around self-betrayal? Where was that a part of the soul's experience to experience those things like karmically? And so we feel it, like we feel it as real, but this is also where we don't identify with it. And to be more of that Pisces like witness of things and the things we're experiencing, so that we get back to a truer sense of understanding like who we are, and it just comes through more naturally, intuitively. So I do think that this is one of the most potent times to really have faith in our intuition too, that there are certain things that we don't have to like doubt or like lack faith in like what we're seeing or sensing or perceiving, because it's not about like getting it all right. It's more about just demonstrating the more openness there is to a gentle sense of knowing, of possibility, but not clinging to it, the more that's just demonstrating that we're open to the infinite possibilities that exist, but that if we're being focused, disciplined, taking responsibility for our own energy, anything that's going on in life, like the universe is getting things back on course. And it's actually all funneling, even if it feels like it's going the opposite way or backwards, or, you know, we're just getting like lucky or you know, just it's all just happening, but we're not doing anything, or it's just a hot streak, or it's timing, or whatever it is. It's like it's all funneling us towards this destiny piece, which is like aligned with the soul's destiny, which can feel a little bit more ambiguous in a way, and like hard to like give like an exact focus to. But it's like once we get that essence down and that vibration down, then it's easier to own the full avatar and character and carry out the orders of the divine, because none of the like flashiness, sensationalism, any fibbing or trying to like, you know, like act. It's like the actress energy of like being it, or like this like look at this spiritual like thing or brand or like whatever it is. And it's like people have just been very quietly the past 2 years learning to read energy better than ever, and who's real and who's not real. So it's just like just being that. And it's not about like these perfect trends or algorithms or fucking systems that people are selling. Like systems are so fucking over. Like you're South Node in Virgo right before the rise is leaving Phoenix in 2027, where we've been on 413-year cycle. Riding across a planning that's been based on systems and planning. Like, thank God that we've had the South Node in Virgo, North Node of Pisces to actually give us the softness of preparing us for the endings of systems and systematic thinking, and actually living for more of the spiritual intuitive place, because then it didn't feel like getting the fucking shitty rerun program that we've been being fed, like turned off 26 minutes into a 30-minute show and then going, well, I want to watch last 4 minutes. It's like, no, you didn't. You're being programmed. But at least like this has been like spirit being like, hey, like check this out. Check out this little like music box, or check out like remember these past life memories, or like these like cooler spiritual enchanting things, or like gifts or abilities, or remembering how to connect with people. And it's like kind of like been the funny like, oh, you want to be neurodivergent and get distracted? Well, like let me distract you with like things that are actually going to pull you into your vortex as a soul, and like to get away from this shit. So the people that have been like doing that, like those are the people that are going to be the highest service, and they're ahead of the curve in a way that they were meant to be, to kind of like be that rising of the guard, to like hold the higher vibrations, and not in a douchey narcissistic way, but it's just in a way that it's just natural. It's like, duh, like of course we're here to hold the light and hold the vibe. And that just there's been a process of seeing where we haven't held that light, or didn't always hold that light, whether it's past or past lives, and they go, well, okay, but that's not who we are. Like who we are is the choice that we're making in the moment. It's really simple. It's like, is it an integrity? And everything from the integrity place right now, it really isn't coming so much from who we say that we are, or the exact action. It really is like the vibration and the subconscious stuff. So if that commitment is already there, and it's like I will not like give up attitude, like, and even if there's been moments of like at any point over the past 5 years, like I don't know, like this has been difficult. Well, have some compassion for that, because that was just part of the program, part of the ego shedding, breaking down, survival, like the lessons, like all this seemingly hardship was done to be like, look, it wasn't going to go as bad as we all thought. And then also where as this new world sets in, it's like, wow, there's challenge here, but like this is the good challenge. Like this is the, oh, I chose my hard, but like hard, like someone literally read the definition of hard to me the other day. It was like something like, you know, durable, has a consistent, you know, like solid nature to it. And he's like, actually the definition of hard doesn't sound so bad, does it? I'm like, yeah, it's true. So it's like, what if this is just about us being, the hard is just being solid and being consistently solid and durable in nature, that as all the intensity like starts to move forward, they were like, oh, like actually I'm glad that I got over all my Pisces like phobias and fears and sensitivities, and also lean more into the like the just inspiration like of a dream. And it's like also being okay and like be like the Pisces is like that we're all eternal, and then it's not about like literally it's like, oh, okay, like you missed your shot this life, like you failed, okay, well, it's gonna hurt, but like is it really as significant as we make it out to be? And it's like I don't think it's a bypass, because I think really to me the only like real bypass truly with Pisces energy is like jailing a soul, and that would be like hurting someone, that's like lying to someone, that's like manipulating. It's like jailing a soul, robbing someone from free will. But then also like if we do that to ourselves too. And so as long as we're committed to seeing, where do I hide as a soul, where do I lack wanting to take responsibility, where are the places that I can step up and do better, and start to come up with a plan with spirit, or get like a spiritual advisor or mentor to like help with that, to go in the direction to like deal with the things that like even seem like the harder things. And like, what if the irony is that actually dealing with the thing that seems like the impossible hardest thing to face and deal with is actually literally the way that everything else opens up? So I think there's something to be said about, as we're going through all this receptive energy and the softness of it too, like also like not getting like lazy and still like showing up to things that from the outside looking in, especially if it's something that hasn't been like initiated or planned yet with the Capricorn energy, that it's like, maybe this just seems like harder than it's going to be, but that's just because I haven't walked the trail yet, and I'm not like executing a plan yet. I'm not executing a spiritual, intuitively led like program, like in a good way of like, the program is my soul wants to go this direction, and there's going to be challenges, but like I can handle them. Because without it, like we don't grow. Capricorn teaches us how to grow as a soul from a very practical lens of things. Because everyone likes the growth of like Sag, where it's like, ooh, the abundance, like, ooh, I get to travel, ooh, I get to socialize, ooh, I get to go do all these things. And Capricorn's like, well, it's the growth that happens when you actually like realize a goal and accomplishment, like when you fully commit to something. And so with the Pisces energy, it's kind of like we're meant to go more in those like soulful goals. And the nice thing is that if we're listening, if we're paying attention, if we're doing the spiritual walk of this reality and not just walking in circles, because that's the thing too. It's like, we'll just walk in circles if we don't have a place we want to go. I don't want to hear any more people show up fucking saying they don't know what they want. Just pick something, do your best, because if you're listening and you're being spiritual, like you'll course correct, like you'll figure it out. But I think that could be a bypass too, where it's like, I'm not sure what I want. It's like, is that true? Or is it just like that there's a fear to like actually take responsibility for like the next leg of the journey and lessons, and that it's being afraid it's going to like go bad or be disappointed, or it's not going to be your full hopes and dreams of what you've wanted. You got to start thinking like way longer term, like at a minimum decades, and honestly like even like longer, which that, I mean, I probably need to look at my charts in this way. Consider if like doing readings in that way for people, it's like looking at a longer term soul map, which I kind of do, but like actually strategically doing it, that it's like, this stuff is not as like dire critical as we think. Like our soul, like we're good. We're just being behind thing is the Saturn and Virgo thing, to like be like critically reacting to every like little fucking thing in life, and being stressed by every little detail, stressed by everything that's like not working perfect, when we don't even have what the vision of perfect even looks like. We don't have the vision of what normal looks like. We're the furthest away from like normal and perfect, which is a good thing, because that's how you know the old reality, old matrix shit is like breaking down, and that we're remembering that there's something special about this time, and there's some really beautiful things coming, and levels of even emotional fulfillment that transcend the exact like perfect map with all this energy. And really it's just our job just to kind of like go, yeah, I'm open to that. Fuck yeah. And I don't have to do anything specific or be perfect. The only thing to do, like, it is the basics of just when you're inspired, like, go do the thing. Use the energy. Like, we didn't come here to fucking sleep through the winter. Like, yes, rest and recovery, but also like, so like for 70% of people out there being generators, manifesting generators, it's like, if there's frustration or anger, it's like the energy is not being used towards something of substance or value that the soul's wanting to do, you know, or it's getting the timing off. So it's like impulsivity with this energy and escapism would be just like doing the thing that you already know that doesn't have any value. It's a distraction. You've been there before. It's a pattern. And that the parts of the thing that's like kind of like the new frontier, but it's like the thing that makes sense, where it's like, well, this is already my skill set, my abilities. I've already done this. It just makes sense to now go in this direction. I'm inspired. Here's a new trajectory I could take it. And it's just bringing more light into the universe, like doing that, like that level of excitement. So it's a beautiful thing. So if you want to get a personal strategy reading, reach out, watch out for those announcements January 8th for what's 2026 look like going forward, the astrology. And then a couple more announcements. I have more people joining the Higher Self Rising group coaching. That's Tuesdays, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. It's a subscription model, $297 per month. It's an opportunity for people to drop in and get some coaching insight from yours truly, and get some tools for regulation, clearing, insight. Basically, it's a group opportunity for people just receiving in that format. And then, of course, for the OGs, the people that are like, fuck yeah, motherfucker, like, I want to make 2026 my bitch. That's where things like the one-on-one coaching with Alchemy Arc and Courage Illuminated come in. I'd say especially Alchemy Arc, just because that one's structured for the healing, clearing, energetic, vibrational process of it. And I mean, all my coaching is, but like, it's like, well, what are we building though to? Like, what is it that you're wanting to create, the goals? Alchemy Arc specifically is for entrepreneurs that want to get their business like really going. Entrepreneurs of any kind, but light workers, all of it. And so it's getting these things like dialed in, because honestly, guys, I gotta be honest, I cannot imagine still sitting on the fence. Like, there is no fence for Humpty Dumptys of the world come the end of April 2026. Don't be that person. Like, why miss out on the fun? Because because literally, like, if you're missing out on that, like, the status quo is going to be the Pluto and Aquarius people that don't want to evolve. It's like the old man energy that's like groaning about everything, about how fast things are changing and innovating, growing in these crazy new directions. And it's like, well, like, you can't beat the light, you know, literally no one's being able to beat the light. So join the light, like, and your light is your excitement, your passion, getting over the fears, the hurdles, even if it's just the confusion. You need to come get some clarity from the wizard and get help, pull out my treasure chest of my skills and abilities to get you there. Reach out. So appreciate everyone. Have a good holiday season, whatever you celebrate. And, you know, yeah, just when it comes to family, just remember it's about holding the vibe more so than it is the debate stuff. And it always is in that way. But I think this is, people don't have to be afraid of being in the presence of those energies, because the light is just winning so fucking hard that it's like, it's just a choice to honor that light. And those vibrations are just unfuckable with, and like the healthiest, most compassionate ways, where it's like, we don't have to react, we don't have to lower our vibe, our intensity, like who we are. It's like, it's that silent Pisces energy that's like the unspoken energy of just like I've got this, like I'm good, you know, like, and it's felt, it's palpable, it's energetic, it's in the aura. So guess what? Like, we don't even need words to like work our way out of like situations with different philosophies of life or beliefs, especially when it comes to family stuff. Because that could almost like get sucked into it, because it's like, if someone like wants that debate, that could be like a sink, like sinking the good vibes. So the rules of engagement is just like keep the frequency high in the holiest of ways, and then the intuition just guides like what is worth saying and what is not worth being expressed. So appreciate you all. Have a good one.